Welcome to the Rebellion, episode 30 of Radio Rebellion, a Star Wars podcast. How you guys doing? Happy Saturday. I hope everyone's having a good day, a good weekend. I know I am. I'm on vacation from work for the next week, so yes, I need get to relax a little bit, have some fun, listen to some podcasts, watch some Star Wars, do other stuff, relax, anything. So yes, vacation. So thank you guys. As always, I'll do it on top because last time I did forget till the end. So remember, if you're watching this on the live show right now or later on the replay, make sure to like the episode as we're going through. Hit that like button as we say, hit those thumbs up. Comment later. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel so you never miss a show. Every Saturday, 5 p.m., we try to be here and give you guys some Star Wars news and Star Wars stories and have some fun. And of course, if you're listening to the audio podcast later, don't forget to rate, review, and also subscribe to it so you don't miss it when it drops, usually Mondays around 11. So again, thanks. Here we are. We're going to be talking a little bit of Star Wars. Got finally some news. We got some confirmed news, some more rumors. But it's been a few weeks that it's been a little bit dry, not a lot of Star Wars news to go by. So we've been trying to squeeze that out, trying to get what we can. But we have a few things to go over today, and we're going to end with our spoiler-heavy review of Alexander Freed's follow-up to Alphabet Squadron Shadowfall. So yeah, if you've read that book, stay tuned. We'll talk about it. If you haven't, you've been warned. Spoiler review, but if you don't care, stay. We'll talk about it. If not, go read it. Come back in a few days and then watch this video. As most of you guys know, I turned 40. Yeah, celebrating a birthday, a big one, the big 4-0. I even forgot to shave. So yeah, those gray hairs are starting to show, but doesn't matter. We're here. Quick shout out again to Michelle and Natalie from Force of Light Entertainment. They were here with us last week. We had a great show. We went for almost 2 hours, I think an hour and 40 minutes. We talk about Rey, Leia, Ahsoka, Cara Dune, Padme. We learn more about them, their podcast, and all those. So if you haven't seen it, go back after you finish watching this today. Go check last week's episode and keep going back. Watch the previous episode so you've seen how the show has evolved and progressed. But yeah, go check it out. Also subscribe to them. They have a great podcast and a great YouTube channel they started recently. So make sure to give them some love. Tell them I sent you. They'll give you a little nothing. There's nothing to give. This is free. So. All right. Anyway, so I think that's it for the news. Let me see. That's it for the news. That's it for the introduction. Not a lot of Star Wars stuff that I did this week again. Had my birthday, so a lot of Star Wars gift. I have one back here. Let me show it to you guys. So cool Stormtrooper wall art that eventually will make its way to a wall when I have a proper office for the podcast, and hopefully that's coming soon. We'll see. Things are changing around the house, but right now it's there. So let me see. We have Michael from Tumet2. He's here. Michael, how you doing? And Vader Girl 21. Hi. How are you guys? Thanks again for joining. And keep your eyes out. We might have an announcement later today. So hopefully a few more people show up to the chat. They'll be able to listen to a live announcement. If not, we'll do it anyway, and they'll find out eventually. And yes, thanks. It is a nice trooper. I do love Stormtroopers. It's one of my favorite designs, and will have a permanent place on my wall one of these days. Soon enough. So how about you guys? You have done anything Star Wars related, any Star Wars life adventures, as we like to say? Let us know in the comments or on that chat later on. All right, so I think that's it. So if you guys are ready, I know I'm ready. Let's talk Star Wars. So Star Wars news. So yeah, we are back on our first Star Wars story. And it's something I wanted to talk last week with Force of Light Entertainment, but I did forget because we were having a lot of fun that day last week. And we just kept talking. I forgot to go back to it. But this is a little bit of old news. It's not brand new news. It's happened a few weeks ago, probably about 2 weeks ago. Leslie Headland was doing an interview and she was talking about the importance of being a female writer or a female director, showrunner, and the importance that is for women and people in the LGBTQ community like her, how important it is for when you get to that level. She said the hardest thing is getting that elevator sent down to you, basically getting invited to the room, and the responsibility that she feels when she's in that position to then send the elevator down for others that usually don't get those calls, and how important it is now for her being in this great world of Star Wars, and how important Star Wars is for everyone, to bring other people up with her, not just, yeah, I'm here, that's it, I did my part, but to elevate those voices that don't get a lot of chance or a lot of ways to express themselves. So I wanted to talk with Michelle and Natalie how they felt as women in the fandom and women in general, and how they felt about those comments. Representation in Star Wars, which is usually a thing we talked about a little bit, not too much. It needs to get better. Disney has done a little bit with it. But I wanted to get their perspective on it. It's not just me talking as a guy. It's better to have a different point of view. But my thoughts on it in terms of representation in Star Wars, it is getting better. Disney has screwed the pooch a little bit, you can say. Especially, I remember when they announced Mandalorian and Jon Favreau was leading it. I think it was on International Women's Day. So it was really, of all days, today, of all days, you picked to do this. But they said there were going to be more announcements, and those people that usually don't have those choices, or those are not represented, would start coming up in Star Wars. And we got Deborah Chow doing 2 episodes, and now doing the Kenobi series. Bryce Dallas Howard doing an episode of Mandalorian season 1, and also going to season 2. Now we have Leslie Headland headlining her own series. I forget her name. That's writing the movie with Taika Waititi. We have a great female character with Cara Dune. But I think where Star Wars has led the way a little bit in terms of representation is in the novels and the books. We got some great female authors, people of color, and now with the announcement of from a certain point of view for the years for The Empire Strikes Back, when those names come out, it's diversity as you should expect, because that's the United States just so diverse in people that live here, and it's being shown at least in the books. Hopefully it keeps transitioning on to the TV series, movies, and all that. But again, I wanted to get their perspective on it, so maybe next time. I know we'll be doing something soon. We did talk about one thing we're going to be doing. I'm not going to say it just yet. I'll let them talk about it, but we'll see. So what do you guys think? Let me see who else is here. I see Mr. Rez. How are you doing, Mr. Rez? Thanks for coming. Love your little pinky on the brain there. Thanks. Oh, here we go. From a certain point of view, how are you doing? Lovely. Thank you, Boba Fett. You're a represent. Boba, you guys know me. That's Boba in season 2 of Mandalorian. We'll see how that happens. Again, still a rumor. We'll see how it happens. But thanks for Josh and Adam. You guys were having a great show earlier this afternoon and could stay all the way to the end. I took a nap. So if I'm a little sleepy, that's why. Again, I just turned 40. I need to start sleeping a little bit more. So I took a nap a little bit earlier. I think I'm good now. Force of Light. We're just talking about you guys. And thanks last week for being here. Appreciate it. We had a great show. We have to do it again. Hopefully on your channel we'll do something soon, but I'll leave it there. We'll talk about it more later. All right, so that was our first news topic, and our second news of the day comes from an official news, finally. One that we all been waiting for, the new animated series, The Bad Batch, Star Wars, The Bad Batch. Yeah, what do you guys think of this? All right, so let me start positive. Let me know start so negative. So yes, we got official announcement from Star Wars.com, Star Wars Newsnet. They're always breaking news. I almost gave them this. So Star Wars.com about 3 or 4 days ago revealed the new animated series debuted in 2021 for Disney Plus is The Bad Batch, which we know are the Clone Force 99 that we met on the last season of the Clone Wars, season 7. That first arc, Bad Batch, was one of those unfinished arcs way back when Clone Wars was kind of done. They had some of the animation that they dropped years later, and everyone was going nuts. We need to see the Bad Batch. We need to see them. We finally got the Bad Batch a few months ago on season 7 of Clone Wars. And not surprise for you guys, I had my ups and downs with that arc. with the characters of the Bad Batch. They didn't connect to me as much as some other people. Again, it's just my opinion. If you love the Bad Batch and you're over the moon with this news, hey, great. And I hope to be there when this comes out. Right now, I'm not exactly there. I'm maybe 65, 70% excited for this. We've been hearing, and this shout out to the guys from Kessel Run Transmission. They broke this months ago saying that this was coming. We've been hearing, there's a Clone Wars sequel series coming, and there's the Rebel sequel series, but we didn't know too much about it. And the first one to drop was this Bad Batch series announcement a few days ago. So again, it's a 4-episode arc. They didn't grant me that first episode. Second episode, I started getting on board a little bit, but not so much. By episodes 3 and 4, I was on board with the Bad Batch. I really love Tech. The other guys, not so much. Wrecker, I really didn't dig it. The sniper, forget his name, Crosshairs. And then Hunter. Hunter was okay. I prefer Tech is my favorite one. The other two, not much. So we'll see. It's Star Wars. I'll get excited when it comes out. I think a few more reports came after. This is going to be after Season 7, obviously, after Order 66, and how they react to this and the consequences of Order 66. We don't know if this means that they executed Order 66 and are feeling bad about it and have to do something, or they're on the run from surviving Jedi, or just themselves. Surviving Jedi, I know, scratch that. That's not happening. Are they still in league with the Empire? Is the Empire sending them to hunt down Jedi, similar to the Inquisitors? Are they hunting down other clone troopers that didn't execute Order 66, like Rex? We know we have Rex, who is it, Gregor and Wolf, that we meet again in Rebels. So are they involved in this? Is the Empire after the Bad Batch because they didn't execute Order 66, or also because they're getting rid of clones? They want to go with stormtroopers, and then the Empire sending someone from the Empire after the Bad Batch. So there's a lot of ways that the story can go. Rumors are also that Rex is going to be here. Ahsoka is also going to show up. Probably Gregor and Wolf. So there's a lot of ways, a lot of different avenues this can take. But just being as a Bad Batch series with those 4 characters as the main crew doesn't get me this level of excitement. Doesn't get me Boba Fett excited. But again, it's Star Wars. I'll give it a shot. I don't remember exactly how excited or not excited I was when they announced Rebels. And we know Rebels was a great series. I love Rebels. I'm trying to do my rewatch now. Even Resistance, which we know was more geared towards a younger crowd. I watched both seasons. I did enjoy it for what it was, but I didn't miss an episode. Same thing with Bad Batch. I'm not going to say, no, this is not for me. I'm not going to watch it. You should have done this, that, or the other. I'll give it a shot. Hopefully I do like it if it's with Filoni and that crew involved. We know the animation is going to be sick if it's close to Season 7 of Clone Wars, which it should be, maybe a little bit better, because it's probably a year after they finish Clone Wars that they started working on this, or maybe it was around the same time, and hopefully it's in the same animation style. That's something that they haven't said. Star Wars animation for each show usually changes its animation style, but I think they hit a great point, it was difficult to find, but a great animation style with Clone Wars Season 7 that hopefully they stick with it for Bad Batch. So again, we'll see what happens. Let me see what you guys are saying on the chat about Bad Batch. If you guys are thinking about this so here we go. From certain point of view, they say, I'm game for Bad Batch. I'm very glad it takes place after Clone Wars or not during. Yes, we need to get away. We've seen enough from Clone Wars. And that's one thing I think it's not just the Bad Batch that didn't get me 100% excited. I'm a little bit over this time period now. I know it's the Empire's growing, but we need to get away from this. We always say it's a bigger galaxy. We need to explore new things or new places. So I want to get away from what we know already. We're done with the Skywalker saga and all that. So let's get away from it. But yes, it's something we haven't seen. It's not a retread. It's not what were they doing during episode Order 66. And we don't know exactly if it's a week later after Revenge of the Sith, 2 years later, 3 years. So also we have the Kenobi series, I believe 5 years after Revenge of the Sith. So again, it's that same time period. Not saying that they're going to mesh, but let's try something different. Like, again, just give me Star Wars. And 2021, you'll hear me saying, here we go, Bad Batch Episode 1 review. Let's talk about it. I loved it. And I hope that's the reaction I get for you guys also. Force of Light, they're also saying they feel about similar to the way I do. I know you guys did your impression video about it. I haven't checked it out yet, but I will. That's my promise to you guys on the chat now. I will check that your review or your impressions of Bad Batch, and I encourage everyone else to go and give them, like I said, a follow and check what they're saying. Oh, look who's here, RFB, a rural farm boy. Presented Counter 4, how you doing, sir? Love you here. Love every time you send everyone those live chat through. There's a lot of shows today. Saturdays, if you like Star Wars live shows, Saturdays, that's the way to go. There's like 3 or 4 today. So, and yeah, who didn't hit? Come on, get on them, Anthony. Tell them, hit that like button. I'll find you guys. All right, and Mr. Rez, of course, he smashed it. And Force of Light. Yes, here we go. Excellent. I love you guys. This community, everyone that, yeah, I just love everyone here. All right, so any other thoughts about Bad Batch? Let me know. Say it on the chat. We'll talk about it a little bit more later. If you're watching this again later on the replay, shoot it down on the comments. Send me a Twitter. You're wrong. This is why Bad Batch is going to work, or this is why. Again, this is my opinion. I know a lot of people love the Bad Batch and those episodes. If you connect to those characters, again, love it for you guys. Maybe this is the series for you. You haven't connected with the sequel trilogy or Resistance or whatever, and then Bad Batch is yours. It's your Star Wars, like we say. Star Wars is for everyone. You don't need to love everything. There's little niche and little corners for everyone. So I hope this is for you guys that love the Bad Batch. And I hopefully in 2021, which isn't that far away, 6 more months, not sure when in 2021 it's going to come out. Hopefully we all love it. 2021 is going to be a great year for Star Wars, and no movies. Mandalorian Season 2 is going to come out late 2020. Then we have all the books, all the High Republic books coming, all the Mandalorian books coming out. Now we have the Bad Batch coming. News we're going to talk about in a few, which is Kenobi and Cassian started shooting. So there's a lot of Star Wars stuff going on in 2021 and more to come that we haven't heard of yet. But we'll see. All right, so next news topic, and now we go from confirmed news to a little bit of a rumor, which is Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader, Hayden Christensen, everybody back for the Kenobi series. And this is where I changed from I'm not that much excited about the Bad Batch to what? And I think this is not brand new. I think we've talked about it before, the possibilities of Hayden Christensen reprising his role as Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader in the Kenobi series. Way back, I don't remember which podcast episode, we talked a little bit about what I wanted to see from the Kenobi series and which way they could go and who's going to be the bad guy, the villain, what's going to motivate Kenobi. And I did say that Darth Vader making an appearance as the antagonist is the way to go. It's the way I saw it. I know a lot of people don't want, Obi-Wan leaving Tatooine, and it's difficult. There's a lot, like Beckett says, it's a lot of ways this could go south, and only one where I see it works. So I know I say I want Anakin, I want Vader back in Kenobi. You gotta be careful. You're messing with A New Hope. A New Hope is here. You gotta be careful how you do it, and I think they can. So I think, like I said, Darth Vader should be at the antagonist, have that final meeting between Kenobi and Vader before A New Hope, and it's going to be an emotional train wreck. I know they've been saying, oh, this has to be flashbacks. They're going to go more this is rumors, so we can speculate responsibly, hypothesize in hyperspace, like I like to say. So let's do a little bit. There's those rumors, it's going to be flashbacks to the Clone Wars, talking about Bad Batch. Hopefully it's not during the Clone Wars era or those Clone Wars seasons. Supposedly the Kenobi series is going to have some flashback to the Clone Wars era, the Clone Wars TV show. People are saying, maybe they redo some of those live action. Hopefully not. What I'm really hoping, I don't know, it can work because they've done it before in movies, even from Empire Strikes Back. If they have, even if they don't meet, if Kenobi stays on Tatooine, whatever, they can still communicate through the Force. It's not a Force connection like Kylo and Rey. Even maybe they tried. They're extremely strong in the Force, so they can do it. They don't need their minds bridged like Snoke did for them to get that going. But we know that that Vader and Luke talk through the Force. They connected at the end of Empire Strikes Back. Luke did it with Leia at the end of Empire Strikes Back, and they keep doing it in Return of the Jedi with Vader and Luke. So if they have communication through the Force, Kenobi and Darth Vader, if he's in his Star Destroyer or whatever, and they still have those conversations, even if they don't see themselves face to face, but through the Force, that's it. Tears, emotions running high. That's what I want to see. I want is a hard word in Star Wars when you say I want X, because when it doesn't happen, then you have 20 other videos complaining about everything, which is not what we do here, but you always gotta be careful. So that's what I would really like. First is for them to meet up in person, and if not, and even if they meet, they can still do this before Kenobi leaves Tatooine to meet Vader. They have some Force connection. They talk through the Force about what happened to Mustafar, because we know Vader is conflicted all the way through. From all the new canon, Vader is conflicted since the birth of Darth Vader till the death of Darth Vader. He's conflicted about his actions. If you read the comics, and I know you shouldn't have to read the side material to know the movies and stuff, but if you put the time in, if you read it, you know that Vader is still conflicted. That Charles Soule 25-issue run of Vader show him extremely conflicted about what he did, the way he's been manipulated by the Emperor. He even has visions of Kenobi basically going to him and killing him because he deserves it. If you read Lords of the Sith, Vader is trying to, how can I kill Palpatine? Because I don't believe what he's saying about Padme. I didn't kill her. There's a way. I need to get under the thumb of this guy. But Palpatine's master manipulator, he could read Vader's thoughts, so he was expecting everything. But again, he's conflicted. So having that conflicted conversation with Obi-Wan, this is your fault. Why didn't you try to save me? You're my master. I was still learning. You left me to die, burned to death. So, again, I'm getting excited. And we'll say this is still 2021, I think, is when they're going to start shooting. Actually, no, we're going to be talking about another rumor in a few minutes. But before we do that, again, I'd like to check with you guys. Tell me, no, you're wrong. This is why Anakin and Kenobi are not going to meet. No, that's not going to happen. So let's see. So yeah, certain point of view also saying, yes, Saturday is a marathon day for Star Wars podcast. And yes, we all love it. Anthony is the unofficial moderator of all the Saturday Star Wars show. He's always sending those tweets. Don't forget, live chat crew, tagging everyone. I mean, there's so much out there. I sometimes feel bad that I don't get to listen or watch all the shows that you guys produce, because there's so much. There's so many great shows out there, great podcasts. But thanks, Anthony, and everyone that usually tweets them out and tags us, and we try to get there. So first a slide, they're saying, I think Disney and Lucasfilm is truly trying to bring the Star Wars fans together, bringing back Hayden Christensen is a good way to excite and unite fans. You're extremely right. Hayden, this past few years in that celebration panel that he showed up, he's got the love back for everyone. The past 3, 4, 5 years, the resurgence of love for the prequels. Those people that grew up on the prequels are now like teens, 20, mid-20s. They're pushing it, prequels. Ahmed Best is making his comeback. Hayden is, and we all want to see him back. So it unites everyone. Everyone's excited for this. I haven't seen someone that says, no, keep him out. Yes, this is how you do it. And Mr. Rest, yes, there are more of us. Some of them loud fuse. I call them Miss Michelle. They're happy where they're at. Yeah, there's some people that still. All right, there's always angry ones in the back. Yeah, there's always angry people. We try to keep those away from our chat. But yeah, that's it for that one. So our next rumors, not a big one. Still, Star Wars news is the kind of buried the lead a little bit. We talked about it a little. It's the Cassian Andor TV series and the Kenobi series will be shooting together. They're gonna start shooting in the fall, I believe is what the report rumor says, and up at Pinewood Studios, and that they're going to share timeline for shooting and also part of the production team, which to me makes sense. It's been postponed for so long due to the situation out there. Things out there in Europe and in London, England are getting a little bit better than here. So production is starting again. So it makes sense that they're going to start shooting at Pinewood. It makes sense for them to shoot at the same time. Cassian should have been shooting months ago. We know Kenobi got derailed a little bit by the writer change and changing from a movie to a 6-episode. Now I think the latest rumor was a 4-episode series. So there have been a lot of changes with Kenobi, but we got to get going. It's getting late, just to, sort of speaking. So it makes sense that they're going to share this stage. We know Star Wars. If you read all those books and follow everyone that is involved in Star Wars production, they like to reuse sets. They'll just flip them upside down, paint them a different color. You have this not same cinematographer, but a lot of people that work on special effects, the creature department. All those are the same guys. So get them working together. The volume, we know they're going to be using the volume for the Kenobi series because Ewan McGregor mentioned it. It makes sense that they're going to use it for Cassian. We saw on the gallery for Mandalorian, I think Filoni said that it takes about 30 minutes to flip the set from one episode to the other if they need to do pickup shoots. So it makes a lot of sense that they're going to be doing this for both TV series, shoot them at the same time. Hey, today we're shooting Cassian up in Edu, or we're back in Jeddah for whatever reason. Okay, tomorrow we're shooting on Tatooine. So I'm sure they'll find a way to shoot both of them at the same time, at least some locations, get them a ball rolling. So hopefully we can stay on schedule. I believe Cassian, I think, was supposed to come late 2021 and then Kenobi 2022. So I'm guessing they're still trying to hit those dates, and the only way to do them is to start now because there's a lot. There might be TV shows, but there's a lot that goes behind the scenes. So here's to them. Hopefully they can get it ready and start shooting soon. All right, so our final rumor, and this is one that's picking up steam for a while, and then there's an actor out there that we all love. There's a hashtag going out on Twitter every couple of days, and let's just put it out. So Alden Ehrenreich, Han Solo. So he's talking a little bit about Solo. He has a new TV show coming out in the new NBC streaming service. I hate the name. I'm not going to say the name of that streaming service. So dumb. Whatever. That's up to them. So anyway, Alden's been doing the rounds, promoting the show, and he's been asked about Solo, his time playing Han Solo, and what his thoughts are for the future. And it starts vague, but then every time he's done, I think, 3 different interviews that I've seen, he adds a little bit every single time. So the first one was, I don't think they're looking to do another movie, but the way things are, they're always changing. You never know. I'll be up for it if they call me. Then it basically adds saying, well, the way they're doing now, I think first said that Solo was the last of the traditional movies or something that they were shooting, something like that. So to me, that means maybe he's talking about next iteration is Disney Plus. I know Bob Iger said that they weren't planning doing any Star Wars movies that will be straight to Disney Plus, but I'm sure they've changed their model. They see how the world is right now, how people are reacting. People don't care that movies are direct to TV like they used to. It's not a Lifetime channel movie. Again, nothing against people that like Lifetime channels. Sometimes you gotta watch them. But streaming is the way to go now. We've seen how Netflix has done plenty of movies straight to Netflix, and they're pretty good. So I think that's, even though they don't want to, they're going to be releasing a few. And I know I don't have on my notes to talk about it, but there was another report or rumor that the next few Star Wars movies are going to be low scale due to the pandemic. They're going to be more low scale character based, which, yes, makes sense for Star Wars. We'll talk about that some other day. So back to Alden, talking about Solo, then he mentioned, oh, I've heard a few things. There's a few ideas and I've heard a few things. So, okay, people are talking, make Solo 2 happen. Maybe that's it. Again, we got to get that hashtag Duffer for Star Wars also going. Maybe it works. And then I saw another one today or yesterday talking about his time as Han Solo, how much he loved working on it, and some of the critique that we got about Solo and his portrayal was that, that's not the Han Solo we know from A New Hope. He needs to be more arrogant or more distant from people. That's not my Han Solo, like people say. People like me that love that movie and love his portrayal say, no, he's building up to that character. You don't turn that cynical from day to night. So it takes time, and everything he went through in Solo, it makes him become that character. And that's what he said on this final interview. It's the guy we meet at the end playing that Sabbath game with Lando, and then get on the Falcon with Chewie. Hey, Tatooine, big gangster. There's a gangster with a putting up together a crew. Let's find out. That's the Solo that we know and love. That's the Solo that he was getting ready, and he's ready to go. So yes, so give it to him. I think he said another thing, but basically he's ready to do it. Might not be a straight sequel movie, which we're all okay. Might be something different that says to me Disney Plus TV series. Yes, give it to me now. That's a song, right? Give it to me. I need more sleep, I think. But yes, Solo Disney Plus series following either, like I said a few weeks ago, I want again. I would really like to see Solo and Chewbacca teaming up with the Hut Cartel, Boba Fett, and all those bounty hunters that we know and love against Crimson Dawn, Kira, Maul, and whoever's the Pikes, everyone that works with that crime syndicate that Maul have that crime battle between those guys. That's the one I really want to see. But give me, if you want to do Maul and Kira, throw Enfys Nest over there, and Solo makes a few appearances, great. So there's a lot of it. Anytime that everything that's Solo, I'm just going to put the picture one more time. Yes, come on now, then keep talking about Solo. We need Solo. Give us Solo 2, however we can get it. So I think that's it for that news. So a little bit of news this week, like I mentioned. Finally, we get to talk some news, some rumors, and some actual news. So there you go. Duffers for Star Wars. We gotta come on, guys. You saw the episode last week. You know what we're talking about. We gotta get the Duffer brothers from Netflix to do a Star Wars Disney series. There's plenty to do. They have great character development, great coming of age stories. Do that in Star Wars. Duffers for Star Wars. You gotta get it going. All right. So let me see what else. Michael, too much. I listen to watch more than anybody else. Well, I used to before I started doing 100 live streams a week, and I'll feel bad when I miss friends' shows. So yes, going back to all the shows, all the podcasts that are out there, or the YouTube videos, it's difficult to keep track of it. Same as you. Sometimes I get tagged on something, or I see something pop up. Oh, we're going live in 10 minutes. Man, I gotta go do this, or the kids are yelling, what they're doing now. So it's hard to keep track of all of it, but we try. We do what we can. If we can do it, we'll retweet it, push other people over there. So we try. Anthony saying Korean Outlaw Noah, they scooped the Bad Batch news. Yeah, we did a quick mention of it. They say a little Solo 2 news is coming soon. I saw someone tweet that out. So yes, Anthony, thanks for bringing that up. They've had a good track record. Those guys, they're not just saying rumors to say rumors like some people. So if they say it, be on the lookout. This week, do it this week. I'm on vacation. I can do a special show talking about Solo. And of course, Mr. Rez is saying what we all are saying. Make Solo 2 happen. Yes, we need it. I want it. Yes. All right. So that's it for the news segment. And let's go to our special topic of the day, which is... Oops, I want it to be a little bit more dramatic. Here we go. Shadows Fall by Alexander Freed. And like I said, this is a spoiler-heavy review. So if you haven't watched this, let me know because I want to watch it. If you haven't read Shadows Fall yet, take a few. We're going to be talking about this for a while. I have a lot of notes. You know me. I love my notes. So we're going to be talking about Shadows Fall for a little bit. So if you guys have read it, make sure to jump on the comments. Tell me what I'm saying wrong, the way you took the stories, the character development, and everything. Put them on the chat. let's talk some Shadowfall. Shadowfall. I always put that S. I want to say Shadows Fall. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm talking about. So yeah, let's go and talk about it. You have there Chasna Chaddick, Kairos. I love Kairos on that first book. And then Soren Keys. Is it Keys or Kais? I call him Keys. Soren Keys? Whatever. That's fine. All right, so a quick recap if you guys indulge me for a few minutes. So last year, Alexander Freed made the first Alphabet Squadron book, which then we learned is the first in a trilogy of books, Shadowfall, of course, the follow-up, the second book. So I didn't read Alphabet Squadron when it came out. It was, I believe, close to episode 9, I think, was coming out. It didn't tie in directly to Rise of Skywalker, so I passed on it. I didn't want, there's a lot of Star Wars book out there. I passed on it. Other reviews were great. Everyone was talking how great that book was. And then Shadowfall was coming. We saw that cover with Chaz, purple hair, blue hair, everything. So I said, you know what? I want to read this second one. Let me go and get Alphabet Squadron. I really enjoyed Alphabet Squadron. Like I said, it's very character driven. We have a group of people like, let's say, Avengers. So when Avengers came out, you have all these great heroes coming together, having their issues to fight this bigger bad guy out there. So Alphabet Squadron is similar. You have Eureka Quail, which is an ex-Imperial. She's captured by the New Republic, or she turns herself into a New Republic, and it's hired or recruited by Aidan Kern to be part of the New Republic intelligence. The Empire, even though it's defeated, it has this great TIE Fighter squadron called Shadowfall, the 204th Squadron. And they have to find a way to defeat them because they've been causing chaos, and they were part of something called Operation Cinder, which was one of the Emperor's final decisions after he died. He has this master plan, as always, Operation Cinder, which was going to the planet Necronis and basically exterminating it. The atmosphere over there was very volatile. Every time something exploded, the whole planet went into flames, basically. So they had to find the 204th and destroy them. They were led by Grandmother, so they had to find it. And then they had Will Lark, which is this bright-eyed boy that flew his A-wing. You have Eureka Quail, like I mentioned, leading them in her X-wing. Nath Tenset, which used to be also in the Empire, but he defected, I think, before Alderaan. And then you have Kairos, which is this enigma, basically. And Chasna Chaddick, which flies a B-wing, and Kairos has her U-wing, which I love U-wings. So that's probably why Kairos was my favorite in Alphabet Squadron. So the 5 of them get together. There's a lot of missions that they go trying to measure team. They have ups, they have down. Hera Syndulla shows up, and you start building on those characters, all the missions, good, bad, everything. And then it culminates on this final battle in the planet Pandem 9 against the 204th. And even though they defeat them, the planet's not a space station, I'm just going to call it a space station, starts falling onto the planet, very similar to what happened in Acronis, which is what they were trying to stop. So this time it seemed like the same thing was happening, but from the New Republics basically being the ones conducting the destruction of the planet and whatever. So at the end of the book, Soren Keys, which was Eureka Quail's leader and was the squadron leader from the 204th, he had left the Empire back when the Emperor died. He didn't want anything to do with it. He thought the Empire's done, it's not coming back, so I'm going my separate way. Quail, you do the same. Go to the New Republic, tell them that you defected. If not, they're going to kill you. And I'm going my separate way. I'm done with the Empire. But when he sees what the New Republic did on Pandem 9, he said they're not no better than the Empire. Plus, they're killing my people and my squadron. I gotta join them up. So the book ends with Soren Keys going back to the Empire and trying to lead the 204th Shadow Squadron division of TIE fighters. All right, so that's the setup. That's a quick recap of the first book, and then we're going to Shadowfall. Anthony said, he says Keys, spelled Keys. Yeah, let's say Keys. Soren Keys. We'll call him Soren Keys. All right, so again, got a lot of notes. We'll try to get through this. It's a spoiler review. It's going to be heavy, so we'll be doing a rundown of what happened in the whole novel. And again, if you guys have read it, let me know. Maybe I'm missing something. So it starts with Alphabet Squadron. They're finally a squadron, basically working together. Everyone has everyone's elder's back. They're separated into 2 different missions, trying to get some information about where Shadow Squadron is. So they're defending small outposts or unimportant worlds out there, but trying to get information from some Imperial sympathetic that are still out there, trying to see where that 204th is, because they're hitting small targets. So they're trying to find what can we do to lure them to us. First, we were always reacting, basically. So we need to control the environment, bring them to us, and then we can control the battle. So they're trying to find out where they are. We have the return of one of my favorites, ITO, that reprogrammed Imperial torture droid. I love my Imperial droids now for some reason. It's my guy. See this one, right? My Viper droid, 2 Rs. So now we have an Imperial assassin torture droid that was reprogrammed to be a psychiatrist, basically, and he's Eureka Quail psychiatrist or psychologist as we go on. So we have the return of ITO, and he has a great quote that I think we should all, that works to us. And he says, memory is a construct. For your species, talking about humans, an individual recollection is not a single clear recording, but a reassembly of all relevant data. And that goes, I've said it here before, my first Star Wars memories when I was 3 years old watching Return of the Jedi on my mom's lap, and Jabba the Hutt came out, I cried, blah, blah, blah. I said this every time. Again, I was 3 years old. I really remember that on my putting together different scenes that have been told to me and recreate them as my own memory, which is what ITO is saying here, which I think is great. All right, so certain point of view, you guys gotta run. Haven't finished Shadowfall, so yeah, go ahead. Come back later. We'll talk about it. I'll go to your show next week. I'll give you some spoilers if you don't. But thanks, Adam. Love you guys always. Coming on the show when you can. Love your show. Love the shout out for my birthday yesterday. Birthday was on Thursday, but thanks for the shout out yesterday and today on your show. So thank you guys for taking the time, and follow them if you don't. All right, so Quail also in Alphabet Squadron tried to repress her memory. She doesn't, because she's lying about her involvement in Operation Cinder. She just says, yeah, Operation Cinder started. I wanted no part of it, so I defected from the Empire, when in reality, she was a big part of it. She killed people. She was part of all the destruction of the planet. But her squadron, the other people in Alphabet Squadron, doesn't know this because she's repressed her memories or not telling the truth. She doesn't tell ITO, and he's trying to push her, and she gets very defensive when the topic comes on. And of course, it's going to come back to bite her at some point. So also Alphabet Squadron and New Republic intelligence is trying to figure out who's leading the Shadowfall. That 204th grandmother was killed in the first book by Nath Tenseth. So trying to see if the head of the snake is dead, why they're still going on and causing all this chaos. Someone else has to be in charge. They're throwing out names where it doesn't. I should have said, of course, I wore my X-Wing shirt. There's an X-Wing there to talk about Shadowfall. There's X-Wings. There's starfighters. We gotta represent. All right. So basically, that's the setup. A little bit of the setup, and it. Tell you the truth, at this point, the book lost me a little bit. Not that it lost me, because it is a pretty good book. I preferred Alphabet Squadron a little bit better than this one. It differs from the first one because it's not as strong in my opinion, because Alphabet Squadron for me was a history lesson of Star Wars. You didn't need to know what happened at Alderaan, Endor, Death Star. You don't, even if you go. This is the first Star Wars book that you pick up. You see those events, and then you can go and search for them if you want. It's a character. There's a lot of build-up of characters in Alphabet Squadron. You have all these 5 main characters, or 6 with current Aidan. And again, it's a character build-up, it's a character piece. Basically, they go on several missions that bring them together. And here, basically, we have one big mission that drives the whole story. And there's not a lot of character development. And for me, it ultimately suffers a little bit because we're starting to care for these characters, and there wasn't a lot of growth moving forward, at least for me. So yeah, that's the start of the book. If you like a lot of character development, see them go up. There are ups and downs for them, but it's not as strong as the first one, at least for me. So their plan, basically, after they found out where, it might be a little bit later, where Shadowfall is, what they're doing, and they capture some stormtroopers. So their plan is to lure Shadow Wings to them. They're gonna attack this planet called Cerberon, which is still loyal to the Empire, or sorry, not a planet, a system. The Cerberon system. There's a black hole close to it, sucking everything. So it's gonna, in a few years, it's gonna be gone. And there's 2 planets over there, Troith and Catadra, I think is the other one. And there's an asteroid that is coming, and they're gonna use that as a ploy to get them closer. So the plan for Alphabet Squadron and the New Republic is to attack the Cerberon facility that's still loyal to the Empire, but not take over it 100% and make this huge New Republic incursion. They want to leave a little gap that shows that they can still be heard, that they're vulnerable, to bring in or lure Shadow Wing 204th unit to them, and then finally destroy them there. So that's their plan. Let's make this big show that we're taking over the planet, leave a little gap for them to come, and then we'll set a trap for them, basically. Soren Keyes, like I mentioned, he's back with the Empire, with the remnants of the Empire, but he's not a squadron leader. They bring him back just as a advisor, because you left the Empire in an hour of need, so we're not gonna give you a position of power. You're just an advisor, will decide. And again, being the smart guy that he is, he plays to his strengths. He's okay, I'm fine, I'm an advisor, I'm gonna tell you what you're supposed to do and manipulate you to doing what I'm telling you, even if I'm just advising you on it. So from the other end, we have Soren and his squadron, the 204th. There's 6 TIE Fighter Squadron. So their plan is, we're going to start attacking smaller New Republic outposts and take stuff from them. So they go to this planet. They find this rundown Star Destroyer that the New Republic was, I think, hauling somewhere. It's not functional, so what's the deal? They didn't care too much about it, but there were, I think, 9 broken TIE Fighters and a Star Destroyer. And when they go into the Star Destroyer, I think there's about 20 or 30 Empire people still there hiding. So they went from, we have a small stack of TIEs, and we have 9 extra TIE Fighters to rebuild the 204th. We have a second Star Destroyer, plus we have 20 or 30 more crew members. We can start rebuilding this Star Destroyer. It doesn't have to be this big planet-killing machine, but enough to get us from one place to another and shoot down a few radar dishes if we need to. All right, so that's the setup. We have the New Republic setting a trap for them on this planet, and then we have Soren Keyes and Shadow Wing setting up, growing, making that 204th bigger and better, with enough firepower to attack the planet with 2 Star Destroyers. They have a troop transporter and a few more crew members. So both of them have their plan set. Everyone is doing their mind games, trying to set the other side up. So we'll see who gets the edge. Michael from 2Met2 is saying that he liked this book much better than the first. I do remember you saying that you didn't like the first one too much, or I obviously say you like this one much better. So yeah, let us know, why did you prefer this book over over Alphabet Squadron? Like I said, I prefer Alphabet Squadron more. But that's the greatness about books and Star Wars. Everyone takes something different from them. There's a mention of Admiral Ray Sloan that everyone knows and loves. Admiral Ray Sloan being in the unknown regions trying to rebuild the Empire. And everyone hates Syndulla. Everyone hates Hera. They want her head on a spike, basically. That's the only thing they want. They know she's helping Alphabet Squadron and that she's on Cerberon, so they're going to go over there, give us Syndulla. So that's where we have both factions trying to bait the other. Like I mentioned, New Republic intelligence trying to get them to Cerberon, and they have their own plan because New Republic doesn't know that they are rebuilding. They think there's only a few TIE fighters left, but they're gonna come over with this bigger army, I guess. Will Lark, we all love Will. Poor bright-eyed young Will, trying to do the best that he can. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to go back home. I guess his planet, it's not called home, but that's their name for it, is home. He wanted to leave at every battle. At the end of each battle, he wants to go back home. He was supposed to only be there till the Empire was defeated, but he's always have to stay behind because he doesn't want to leave anyone behind. He's always trying to save everyone. He feels bad when someone dies, and that, unfortunately, is where his problems become, because it's a war. People are gonna die. It's hard for him to accept this. We learned that Kairos, that we know is all covered with rags. She has this cool-looking helmet. You don't see her skin. She doesn't really talk that much. Talks by clicks and with her U-wing and giving you glances. She keeps patches of the Imperial helmets, I think. Not helmets, but the insignias. She also has patches of the infantry troops that she works with. She's a badass all the way around. We have Hera Syndulla. There's more of Hera at the first half of this book than we got in Alphabet Squadron. Then I'll talk a little bit more, but she leaves for another mission. But she makes a mention. I'll read it because I know everyone thought the same thing. They're talking about their plan to lure Shadow Wing and their trap. And it's not the best plan, so everyone's saying it's not going to work, this or that and the other. And then she says, not unless someone's got a Jedi hidden away. I can dream. And she said that with a sad smile, of course, reminiscing, talking about Kanan, one of our favorite Jedi, Kanan Jarrus. So there's that mention. So everyone that knows Kanan and know the whole history of Rebels, take a step back, put one out for Kanan and for Hera. All right, so then we have, this is before everything goes down, it's a little bit of a lull in the action. Nath, which I mentioned was an ex-Imperial also, and Eureka Quail talking to everyone that's in the Star Destroyer in the hall in the mess hall or somewhere where everyone was talking. The infantry was all there at night after the plan was set about their time in the Empire, and Nath Tenzet tells Eureka, "Oh, tell us about Vader. What have you heard about Darth Vader? Did you meet him or anything?" And she basically says, "No, I never met Vader. I just heard the stories. How he kills people that annoys him. If you cross his path when he's flying his TIE fighter, he'll shoot you down or he'll kill you. Imperial sent to his castle, never to return." So again, it's this Vader from Rogue One, that menacing Vader, and from the New Hope and Empire, killing everyone that does a mistake. So no one's really seen Vader. It's just the stories, where the same stories that we all know and that we love. It's don't sideswipe Vader. He'll choke you through that TIE fighter. So it's cool to get a little bit of behind the scenes, I guess, from Quail when she was in the Empire and everyone's still afraid of Vader, even though they were all in the same team. We also learned Quail has a crush on Chaz Nachadik. There's a little mention of it, I think, in Alphabet Squadron, but it's more here. They have a little scene together, especially after they've been drinking. They end up in the same room. Nothing happened. Chaz falls asleep. But from Quail, she's starting to feel some feelings towards her, and Chaz has let this also affect her a little bit. She's very standoffish of a lot of people, and she's letting her guard down a little bit with Kairos and with Quail, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so then we have, Okay, so they get to the Cerberon system. They go into the planet Troy to start the takeover of the planet, and then get the plan set up for the Shadow Wing. It doesn't go as planned. They get more resistance than they thought. Kairos gets shut down. She's there with her bowcaster shooting at everyone. She also has the turret from the U-wing killing all the stormtroopers. It's her against like 30 troopers. And again, one of the reasons I love this character of Kairos, if you read again Alphabet Squadron, she's a badass. She's taking people out from the tower, shooting everyone down, beating them up. And here she's defending everyone, defending the ground troopers again, and a U-wing does her job, but she gets overrun. And when they finally find her, she's defeated. She's down, extremely hurt. Quail is the one that finds her, knows where she is, and tells Aidan, and Aidan has this reaction, no, I gotta go find her, I owe her something. And he goes to get Kairos, and in this, Kairos gets shuttled away, Quail goes with her, and then something happens to Aidan Cairn. He's knocked unconscious, and he disappears, basically. We don't know where he is. All right, and then Soran and the 204th, they receive a message from Troy saying that the New Republic is attacking, and it's being led by General Syndulla. So the plan is set. All right, this is our moment. Syndulla's there. We gotta go find them. We gotta go get her. And the plan is there's this meteor coming on asteroid that's gonna go close to this system. They're gonna hide behind it and reveal themselves where they're close enough to the planet. They won't give the New Republic enough time to turn the defenses on or form any kind of retaliatory action. So that's their plan. But again, New Republic intelligence, you have Quail that used to be in that 204th. She's thinking like they're thinking. So she's saying our plan is we're going to hide our infantry troops on the asteroid. So when the TIEs come in and they land on the asteroid, they don't have ground forces. We're just going to overrun them, kill all of them. If they don't surrender on this asteroid, they won't even get close to the planet. So that's the plan. Seems like it's going to work. It doesn't work. We know it doesn't work because if not, it'll be a 100-page book. But that's the plan. They're both using this big asteroid as their bait, basically. But Hera has to go with her other squadron to this other part of the galaxy to help in another mission. She trusts Quail to lead the mission. The plan is set. Execute. When I come back, we have defeated the 204th. But in all this is when Aidan goes missing. Some Quail and Nath Tenset, they find information from, I don't remember from who. They go to this other planet in Catadra. They find information that Aidan is being held captive by some stormtroopers, and they're going to ship him out to somewhere. Someone's bought him, basically, and they're going to ship him out. So you got to go find out, get him before he gets shipped out. So they finally find him. They bring him back. She goes in this beat-up freighter to get him. They can't say that they're New Republic. So anyway, they do find them. There's a quick mention of the ghost. I don't remember where, but there is a mention of the ghost, which was cool. Before the battle starts, Soran is promoted from advisor to colonel. So now he's actively leading the whole remnants of the empire that's going to Cerberon. And again, he receives information that Rey Sloane was reforming the empire in the unknown regions, but he decides not to join them. Some of the other Imperials are, no, let's go join Rey Sloane. We got to rebuild the empire. For Soran Keys, that makes no sense. The New Republic defeated us. We can't beat them in this big game of who's going to be leading the galaxy, basically. My job now is to do some payback for what they did to Grandmother, what they did to 204th, and we got to get Syndulla. That's his whole mission. He doesn't care about rebuilding the empire because it's not going to work. So he's not going to join Rey Sloane. All right, so during one night while Quail and Nath are trying to get Aidan, trying to rescue Aidan for Cerberon, they go ahead, they find him. He's all beat up, almost dead, dehydrated, hasn't eaten. It's been like 3 or 4 days. So they get him, and they're flying back. Before then, Chaz, it's drinking. She likes to drink. People like to party. Nothing against them. I like to party. Party. And she's she's playing a game. It's not Sabak. I don't think it's Sabak, but she's playing a game. Bets her ship, her B-wing loses it. She's not gonna give it up, so she gets in a fight, starts running the other way, and then someone helps her out, which is a member of the Child of the Empty Sun, which are this cult basically, which are followers of the will of the Force in the Cerberon system. Um, so they do find her, and she kind of, at the end, she punches the guy in the stomach, gets in her ship, and leaves. Chaz is always fearful of what comes after Shadow Wing. So after, I kept calling them Shadowfall. Shadow Wing is the 204th unit. She's doesn't want to leave her friends because she's lost everyone basically, and she's afraid for the end of it. Once Shadow Wing is destroyed, then we'll go our separate path, and she's afraid of what comes afterwards. And she's always wanted to be a martyr, basically die in this big battle. That's why in Alphabet Squadron, she's mad at Will because he saved her too many times where she just wanted to die or sacrifice herself to destroy a TIE fighter. You took that choice away from me. Similar. So she grew up, or she joined the rebellion because she heard these stories of Gene Erso's Scarif. And that's what she wants. Endor, the stories of Luke Skywalker, the Death Star. And she never was on those big battles being able to sacrifice herself. And that choice has always been taken away from her, but she still wants to go out in a blaze of glory, basically. So then we go back to the Lodestar, which is this frigate, this Nebulon class frigate, I think, where the New Republic is stationed. Kairos is not getting better. She's in a Bacta tank, but it's not helping. They don't say which species she is, but it's not helping. So they bring this specialist. They're going to take her to another planet to see if they can do something over her. So Kairos is gone. She's out of commission. So she's out of the way. Chaz is in this other planet, sort of in Cataldra, trying to fly back after getting chased because she lost her ship or lost the game. And then Quail and Nav are coming back with Aidan and ITO. The only one that gets to say bye to Kai, or bye, to kind of help her leave because she's unconscious, was Will Lark. After Kairos leaves, Will makes it back to his room, and there's a message waiting for him, and it reads, it's a message from Colonel Aidan, only to be read in his abduction or his death, and it's concerning Eureka Quail. So, being the intelligence guy that he is, he left a message for everyone in Alphabet Squadron, basically telling everyone the truth about Quail and her part in Operation Cinder on Acronis. Because what everybody thought was when Acronis happened, she said, no, this is not for me, it's too much, I'm leaving the Empire and joining the New Republic. When in truth, she was part of Operation Cinder. She killed people in Acronis, she destroyed the planet, she followed this Emperor Messenger, which is this red robe guy with a clear, or android with a clear glass face that shows the Emperor, that I think shows up in Battlefront 2, I think. But this Emperor's Messenger still shows up through the book. Some reason he's going from ship to ship. People keep hauling him over. People are bowing to him and all this. Soren Kiss doesn't care about the Emperor Messenger. But basically that's Operation Cinder. The Emperor sent this message to destroy Necronis. Quail had a big part on it, and she lied about it. So everyone on Alpha Squadron received this message from Aidan, and they're pissed, as you can imagine. So everyone makes it back to the lander, to the shuttle bay, to receive Aidan, Quail, and ITO. She comes down, hey, I got Aidan, I found him, high five. Oh, what's going on? Why are you guys looking at me like this? And they confront her about it, obviously. I don't think she says anything. She doesn't have the words to explain herself. Chaz is ready to kill her right there, and she says, if I see you, I'm gonna put a bullet in your head, basically. A blaster shot, I guess. And as they're trying to get her to the brig or to jail, alarm starts sounding, wheel. Uh-oh, Shadow Wing is here. What? It's not time. It's not time for them. They didn't expect them for days, but like I said, plan wasn't gonna go their way. So the Imperials got here. They don't know it's Shadow Wing yet, but it's Shadow Wing. So they say, we gotta go do something. So they're not ready for battle. Um, Will gets on his A-wing without a flight suit. Quail doesn't have her helmet or has a cracked helmet, not Chaz, sorry. Um, yeah. Anyway, the alarm sound. They have to go, and they tell Quail, "Don't join us. We don't want you out there." From Chaz's point of view, I can't believe the New Republic let you come here. She thinks that the New Republic knew about Quail and still hired her and had her lead the mission. So she's disgusted with the New Republic, doesn't want anything to do with her. No one wants Eureka Quail flying with them. It's too much of distraction. We don't know which side you fall on, so just stay here. We don't want to see you out there. So they're not ready. They go on their ships and just leave. All right, let me see where I'm left. So everyone leaves. They decide that she can join the fight, and this I did like this part, and it would be a great visual to see on the TV screen in the movies. Everyone leaves the bay with all the TIE fighters, and the only thing left is her looking at her X-wing with the Alphabet Squadron crest painted on it. I think that's a great visual for someone that just lost everything. This big mission that you've been planning for months, it's finally going down, but you're there by yourself looking at your ship empty in this hangar bay. That's a great visual. And when everyone leaves, she knows she can't join them. She's gonna at least stick to that. But she said, okay, if I can join them, I'm at least gonna protect the Lodestar, which is this frigate that they were flying on. And when she goes to board her X-wing, the droid says, no, locks her out. So that's kind of funny. Even the droid has more of a, I don't know what the word is. What the droid is, no, you betrayed us. I'm not opening up this X-wing cockpit for you. So no, you're not going in. Find something else. Thank you guys for so flight entertainment. Thanks for coming. Love you guys. Again, we'll talk soon. I know we're gonna be doing something later. So have a nice evening and a good weekend. And before we keep going, because then the book kind of turns a little bit. Michael Condor from Tumatur is saying that because he liked this book better than the first one. The first book was like the first act of a play, kind of boring, but setting up. Second book is like the second act. Stuff starts getting good and we're getting down to business. And I do agree 100% that this does play like a play or like a movie trilogy. A lot of books, you have to do all three acts in one book. So you get the introduction, the problem in the middle, and then the resolution. Where this differs, for example, from the last Throne trilogy, the last Throne books, there are three books, but they're not really a trilogy. They're not together. So each book has a beginning, middle, and end. This is an actual trilogy of books that if you were gonna do a movie series, it would be book one is the first one, second one is the sequel, and the third one is the third movie. So it does play that way, like you say, Michael. It is that first book is a very long introduction, and it still has those bits in the middle. And then this second book, it's where the action is. I did prefer the action more in the first one because this is just one contained mission. I like the other one because it had different missions going on, but I do like this one is that big mission that we have to do something about. This is our big plan, and if it goes sideways pretty quickly. So it does play to those trends that you're doing, that it is like a play or like a trilogy of movies that, you know, the second one is going to be the dark one where our heroes are going to suffer. So it does play on that. So you are correct on that point. Can't believe I just gave you kudos, but kudos for you, Michael. So yeah, so everyone goes out. They believe that the Shadow Wing is going to attack on two fronts. One is going to go to Catadra, which is the other planet that has civilians, and then the other part of the squadron is going to go to Troy and try to retake the planet. So Will, with Quail out of the way, Will and Nathanza basically are leading it. The Star Destroyer jams their signal so they can't talk to each other, but they say, let's go to Catadra. We have to save the civilians. That's the main thing. But before that happens, on their way there, on a secure line, someone from the X-Wings contacts Will, which is Blink. If you knew from the first book, they put nicknames on a lot of the TIE fighter pilots because of the way their ships look. So Blink had a light of Char, had a lot of carbon scoring or whatever. So Blink, he sees the ship and he gets a message and telling him, go to Troy, this is a trap, go to Troy. And then the lines cut out. He doesn't know why, but Will says, if Blink is contacting me, telling me to go to Troy, I'm going. So he turns, he goes over there. There's no way of him to communicate with the New Republic forces, but Nath sees him turning. He follows Will to Troy. Chaz doesn't see her because she's a little bit farther behind her B-wing. So she keeps going to Catadra, to the other planet. So now you're separating them. You have Quail in the Lodestar Bridge trying to defend from the frigate. You have Will and Nath Tensed on their way to Troy, to the other planet, because someone told them to go there. And Chaz and the rest of the Republic forces going to Catadra to attack over there, where they see all the other troop transporter going. All right, so after Quell notices what's going on, Nath flies by because Will tells him, hey, that's a 204th there, it's them attacking. He flies by, he shoots missiles or flares in a sequence to tell Quell there's a 204th is here, so she knows, so she has to protect them. So the frigate goes out of, the Lodestar, I should say, she was close to orbit on Troy, protecting the planet, but she has to go farther out to attack one of the Star Destroyers that's coming to the planet. Quell gets on the same frigate that she used to bring Aidan back to the ship. She gets on it to go find the troop transporter that's going to Catadra. So basically you have Quell going, So you have Will and Nath defending Troy, that planet. You have Chaz on her B-wing following this troop transporter that they're going to use, the Empire's going to use to get all the Shadow Wing back and head out when they're finished. And then Quell, she gets on the frigate and goes also to the troop transporter all the way to Catadra. But they don't know that Soren Keys is attacking on two fronts. So he's going with a Star Destroyer around the planet to come from behind to attack Troy, while another Star Destroyer is coming from the front, attacking the Lodestar, moving them away from the planet, away from the battering cannons, basically, and from the planet shield. With the plan being, we're going to attack the Lodestar so hard that they're going to have to retreat back closer to the planet, and then we're just going to break their defenses and destroy the ship, make it fall to the planet, and destroy everyone, destroy the shield. While on the other end, what this is happening, we're coming out from the rear, unload our TIE fighters at 204th and kill everyone on sight. So as that is going on, Chaz is going, she's trying to get to the to the ship transporter. She's going by at the asteroid debris field. She gets shut down because she doesn't have enough fuel. That was her thing. Her B-wing can't catch them. Her runs out of fuels and starts drifting in the debris field. Quell is coming behind, not knowing what happened, trying to destroy the ship transporter. She uses the tractor beam from the frigate. She shoots a meteorite or this debris into it, crashes it into that transporter, blows it up. Then her ship is carrying and it's all messed up also, so she's also drifting in the field. And then you have Will and Nath defending Troy, overwhelmed, so they have to retreat to the planet. The Lodestar is basically destroyed. It's very similar to Rogue One, what they did to destroy the planetary shield over Scarif. But here you have one of the Star Destroyers that they brought is also out of commission. The Lodestar is out of commission, so they basically crash together, fall down to the planet, destroy the planetary shield, and it gives enough time for that 204th to go into the planet. So at this point, we have Chaz is stranded in her B-wing, drifting at the asteroid field. Quell, Aidan, and ITO, which were all inside this frigate, are broken down in the debris field. You have Will and Nath on Troy, while the 204th is also on the planet. It's taking over the planet. Kairos is out of commission, off-world. And then But Alphabet Squadron, it's facing trouble all by themselves, but also Shadow Wing, it's basically stranded on Troy. Their two Star Destroyers are destroyed. The ship transporter that they were going to use to get off planet at the end is also out of commission, so they're inside the planet trying to figure out what to do. So at this point, there's basically 4 stories going on at the same time, and instead of going chronologically, we'll just go by each little section. To me, like I mentioned, Will is this bright-eyed kid. He's always remind me of A New Hope, Luke Skywalker, always thinking how can he help people. He always sees the good in everyone, even in the Empire folks, and he's always going to help you no matter the circumstances. And Nath is more of this cynical Han Solo type. He's only in it for the money. The only reason he started, even in the first book, was because Aidan offered him money to get some dirt on Quail. So he always has his own agenda, just cares about himself. But yeah, so basically you have Will, Nath, and the rest of the New Republic forces, the ground forces on Troy. So Will wants to do something. He wants to protect the people because the 204 is just killing or going around, and everyone that's not sympathetic to the Empire is getting destroyed, and Will wants to go help them. But Nath tells them there's 2 of us, like 30 ground forces, again, all these TIE fighters. We can't do anything. Let's lay low until we can find more help. So that's the way they are on there. Will and Nath and what's left of the New Republic forces are going to try to retreat to the other side of the planet. It's called the Scar of Troy, which is all these canyons, and try to find, because there's a mine on the other side that might have a transport and some ships over there that they want to try to fix, do something with them so they can do an offensive against Shadow Wing. So they will try to find any type of flying vehicles. Civilian airspeeders and police cruisers are the only thing that are around that they can use. And Nath suggests that Will leads the team. Nath used to be a squadron leader. He lost his old squadron, so he doesn't want to deal with it again. He's a natural leader. Everyone likes him, but he doesn't want to be in that position of power. And he wants to give the charge to Will. Yeah, Michael, you were right. I said it. Yeah, you are. Yeah, give story to a listen. Yeah, that's right. Because you did the audiobook. So this Anthony saying he did the audiobook of Shadowfall. I gotta do audiobooks again. I've only done Lords of the Sith as an audiobook. It's pretty cool. All right, so at this point, Nath decides to go. He made his way to this little district called the Web inside Troy, and was trying to convince the populace to come and help them, to help the New Republic with vehicles and whatever they could do to rebuild them, and they battle the Empire with something, because just the A-Wing and the Y-Wing are not going to cut it. And then he finds out that the Web used to be this manufacturing plant. They built a lot of transport ships over there. So yeah, good for him. So he found something. And the deal was that the people at the Web will build these vehicles for them and help them fly them, if at the end of this, when the New Republic destroys the Empire and drives them out of the planet, that they turn the plants back on. Because when the Empire came, they shut down the plants. We don't need this type of vehicles. We're taking over. So very similar to what happens here. New company comes in, everyone loses their job, manufacturing plants goes away. They want this to come back because Troy used to be this important planet close to the core, but then Coruscant took over and everyone forgot about the Cerberon system. So they want to try to rebuild it. So that's their plan. So that's Will and Nath and their plan. So then you have Chestnut Chaddick. She gets, like I said, her B-Wing is no fuel. She's afraid that she doesn't have enough oxygen because there's an alarm going. So she climbs out, does this spacewalk to the back of the ship. She reaches the oxygen reserves, sees that they're fine, just a malfunctioning alarm. But there's a spark that happens. And if you're looking at something, there's a spark, you're always going to react. So she reacts, she pushes off from her ship, and then just starts drifting in space farther and farther away from her B-Wing. And she's basically done for it. She's making amends and all that stuff. And then she passes out, basically. And when she wakes up, she's been rescued by the children of the empty sun. She's in this ship with them in the driver's skiff. So she's been rescued by the same people that she punched a day or so ago were trying to help her when she was running away from this card game. The children of the empty sun rescue her. They take them to their planet. On the way there, they're attacked by a single TIE fighter that later on we learned that this is Soren Keyes going back. We also learned that Chaz grew up in a cult, basically, with her mom, which was, I just like this picture. Her family was in this cult. She never liked them, so she ran away, and now she's being saved by this cult, which she calls them a cult, basically, and taken to Cerberon. To Catadra, which is this other planet. So as she gets not indoctrinated, but she starts being part of the Children of the Dying Sun, she learns that they have a prisoner that's an Empire, an ex-Imperial. And she does what she needs to do. She finds this Imperial, and then she learns that she's a TIE fighter pilot. She's part of Shadow Wing. They have this confrontation. They fight. They're separated or whatever. I think the pilot, her name was Cedia. What's her? Palau Cedia, which is not said. And I'm going to guess that this is going to be Blink. And we'll find this out on the next book. I'm sure they're going to meet up again. But basically, they form an uneasy alliance to get out of there. Cedia tells her, there's ships here, but we need a code cylinder to be able to go into this hangar, steal the ship, and get out of here. Then we'll go our separate ways. Chaz says, man, I'll help you till we get there, and I'm going to kill you because you're Imperial. I don't care about this. Few things happen. Finally, they make it to the hangar bay. They see the ships. Chaz sees her B-wing there, so she's a little bit distracted by this because the person she knocked over the head to take the code cylinder wakes up and follows her over there, and the guy that saved her in the debris field is also there, so she gets distracted and she misses Celia getting on her own ship and hightailing it out of there. But then Chaz gets on her B-wing and leaves everything behind. But I'm sure this is going to come back, and we'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. And then they go the separate ways. So now we have Will and Nav trying to get to the Scar of Troy at the end of this planet to try to get to this mine that might have a ship for them to leave. Chaz finally was rescued, almost indoctrinated into this cult that followed the ways of the Force, not the ways of the Jedi, ways of the Force. But she finds her B-wings and also hightails it out of there. Then the third story, now we have Quail, Aidan, and ITO drifting in the debris field, but they see there's a blip on a sector. So when Quail was trying to find Aidan, she knew that Aidan's captors were trying to get to a place. There was a little blip on this sector, and she was trying to get there. She didn't know why, but as they're drifting to the debris field, she sees the blip again. She redirects the freighter over there and basically glides to this planetoid, is what they called it. They just crash on it. Aidan is almost killed because he's already beaten up from being taken hostage. ITO is also damaged. He goes flying out of the ship when they crash, and Quail is also in bad shape. So they start walking, her and Aidan, trying to find ITO, trying to find this signal that they saw on the radar, but there's nowhere to they don't know where they're going. They don't have any guiding or whatever. There's basically a desert planet at this point, but they're trying to get somewhere. And at this, Aidan and Quail, even though they've been working together for years, they still have their issues. Quail is always thinking, should I just kill this guy because he's gonna backstab me or blackmail me eventually? But she's trying to build bridges. And Aidan is telling her, if Kairos dies, I'm gonna blame you because you were in charge of the mission. And Quail doesn't understand why he's so attached to Kairos, or why he was so emotional when he heard that Kairos was injured. And then we learned that Aidan had been taken hostage by the Empire years ago. and him and Kairos were in the same detention facility, and they would pass each other back and forth as they were going back and forth from the interrogation room. But there was another person that they knew over there. His name was Ver Iflan. And Ver died before they could escape, but they said he was, where am I? He could work miracles with droids. So this guy, Ver Iflan, reprogrammed a torture droid, ITO, to help them escape. So basically, ITO, Aidan, and Kairos escaped this Imperial detention facility together thanks to Ver Iflan that reprogrammed ITO, and all of them left together. So that's why he has that connection with Kairos and tells Quail, if Kairos dies, I'm blaming you. And then Quail is, come on, I can't catch a break with you. I've been doing everything that you want me to do, but you're always going to get me. All right, so they finally find ITO. He's all messed up, but still working. He tells them, hey, we're too close to this black hole. We're going to be sucked into it in a few days. So we have to find that blip that you saw on your radar, and we got to find a way to get out of here. So they are dredging through this desert for days, trying to find something. They don't find anything. Quail is frustrated with Aidan because all she's thinking about is killing him or letting him die. No one's going to blame me. No one's going to know that he died back here or that I killed him. They think that he died. And he's like, everything's your fault. But we come to a place that Aidan is, like I said, he was detained for days. So he's malnourished, he's depleted, was in a crash, he's getting infection from his injuries. So he starts getting delirious. He attacks Quail in this cave that they found. She pushes him pretty easy and basically knocks him out. But before that, ITO comes and just injects him with a sedative, and he knocks him out for a couple of days. So then ITO tells Quail, okay, we'll leave him here in this cave because he's holding us back. He's too slow, and we only have a few days. He needs to rest. The two of us, let's go and try to find this. So they keep walking for a couple of days, and they finally come to this tower that she sees. Right, so Quail and ITO found a tower that's carved out of stone that reminds her of a Jedi temple they saw in Alphabet Squadron. So in that book, Hera sends them to this planet to get some supplies, and it's basically a Jedi temple, and everyone has some visions, and they start telling their story. So here we have Quail and ITO find a similar temple or a tower carved out of stone, and the only thing that reminded Quail of it, and she says, is this propaganda word that the rebels used to say, and it's Sith. So we're led to believe that now this is a Sith temple that they find over there. But they can't enter the structure, the door is closed, but Quail has a vision of her time in Acronis and with Operation Cinder. And the vision starts with her being one of the victims being burned to death, basically with everything going on. And then the vision changes to her being one of the pilots killing everyone, which was basically what she did, and reminds her that this is her legacy. She was the one that destroyed this planet. So she has this vision. When she wakes up, ITO tells her you've been incapacitated for several hours, but the tower was reading your biosignatures. It was scanning you. And there was a few reactions from the way you were feeling during this vision. So they start thinking and say, you have to have more visions, give into them, don't hold anything back to see if the tower then opens. So there's days on and days off of her having all these horrible visions, everyone dying, all the things she's done wrong, but she's always holding back, so the tower never opens. We also learned that Quail, as a lot of people, joined the Imperial Navy just to get trained as a starfighter pilot, and then go and leave and, like she says, join Mothma's rebellion. But she never does. She never leaves when she has the chance to leave. She always finds a reason to stay when it's too late and she's been ingrained into the Empire. So she's different from what we've seen in other Star Wars books, when someone, I'm just going to the Empire, learn to be a pilot, get my training, and then head out to the rebellion. She joined for that, but stayed, which is a little bit different, kind of cool. And this is my favorite part of the book, was the interaction between Quail and ITO during this series, trying that relationship between them. I've been seeing a lot of Hannibal lately, the great show that's now on Netflix. I've been doing my rewatch on it, so I love that psychiatrist-patient relationship. And ITO and Quail were great against each other. The way he gets her to open up and the way she treats him and all that is a great relationship. And this was my favorite part of the book. So, but Quail starts losing her mind. She's been on this planet for days. She hasn't eaten. She's having all these terrible visions. ITO is in a similar state, losing his mind because from the crash, he's all messed up. And he's starting to lose his reprogramming. So basically, he's being reprogrammed again into a torture droid. And we start seeing that happen from when he injected Aidan with the sedative. He keeps pushing and pushing more on Quail to give in to her negative thoughts and negative visions. And he's basically no longer a therapist droid and not really a torture droid, but he doesn't see why he can't use those tools. So I have all these injections. I'm not a torture droid, but if I have them, I'm going to use them. So she's losing her mind because of delirium. He's losing his mechanical mind because he's going back to what he was before. And then it's like two friends, cabin fever, losing their minds at the same time. And it comes to a head with both of them fighting, attacking. He's trying to kill her. She's trying to defend herself and kill him. ITO has an open port because of the crash, and Quail still has a data chip from her previous droid, and she just jams this inside of him, destroys ITO. Unfortunately, I did like ITO a lot, but he's toast. And then Quail makes it back to the cave, tells Aidan what happened. Aidan dies a couple of hours, a day later, and then it's just her. Before Aidan dies, she confesses to him that she's basically a coward. That's the reason she didn't leave the Empire when she could. She's a coward. The reason she's been lying, she really wasn't going to leave the Empire. She only left because Soren Keys told her, hey, if you stay here, you're going to die. The Empire is done. If you're just here to seek revenge or whatever, you're just as bad as everyone else. You just go. So she's a coward, not being able to accept this, that she's only doing what other people are telling her, and she didn't have the courage to do it herself. Aidan dies, so then she goes back to the tower and then just gives in. The visions come, the nightmare comes, but instead of falling to her knees and accepting it, she just keeps walking forward, keeps following the vision, and when she wakes up, doors are open. She can go into this temple, and there's a ship waiting. She says it's an extremely advanced ship. She's never seen it before, but she gets in, boom, she's out of the planet, or she's escaped. So now we have Will and Chaz on the planet trying to get to the mine. We have Chaz that left Catadra and her B-Wing heading back. And finally, Quail also gets in this ship, and she's flying back, but she's not really. She knows that she can't go back to the New Republic. She can go back to Alphabet Squadron. She finds that the ship has a cloaking mechanism, activates the cloaking, and goes. And then we have that 204 Shadow Wing. It's Soren Keys. Come on. Considers himself a better pilot than Hera Syndulla. I almost burned the book right there. Come on, you might be good. You're not Hera Syndulla good. All right. So little break there. So Keys also, they learned that of the Core 9 mining facility, he learns that there might be a ship over there, and he wants to get there because he knows that he's stranded on Troy. He did what he needed to do. He destroyed the Lodestar, which he thought at the time Syndulla was still there. They destroyed Alphabet Squadron. He's ready to go. But he made contact with the new governor, Yadiz, and he tells her, no, we're here as the Empire is coming back. We're here to protect the planet, when in reality, he wants to get to Core 9 mining facility, get that troop transporter, or not a troop transporter, a freighter that he could put all of the 246 TIE fighter squadrons and get out of the planet. It has hyperdrive, so we can just leave. We did what we wanted to do, and that's it. So then it goes to the final battle, which is the battle for Core 9 mining facility. We're almost done. I should have some water. Next time, I'm going to get some water. Throat is getting a little parched. But anyway, all right. So Will and the others from the New Republic ground forces are using the underground tunnels to reach the Scar of Troy and then try to get to Core 9, but they're attacked by a TIE fighter squadron that was following them. and one of the mining cars that they were using with about 20 soldiers blocks the way so the TIEs can come in and blow themselves up to do a cave-in basically of the tunnels, and the other people could escape. So then this goes again to Will as the leader being responsible now for 20 people dying or sacrificing themselves to save them, which is something that it's hard for him to get a grip on. But Will, Nath, and the rest of the New Republic soldiers see that Shadow Wing is following them, and then guess, okay, they're going also to the mine. We gotta beat them over there. Will is thinking, okay, so there's two options. Either they're going to the mine to use it to blow it up, use it as a weapon and blow up the planet, or maybe they're thinking the same way that we're thinking. They want to get a ship and get out of planet. Maybe they're stranded, and that's what Will is saying, but no one really believes in. No, that's they came here, they came to destroy us. We can't take the chance. So one night, everyone's asleep. Will says, I gotta try. Because again, Will tries to see the best in everyone. He doesn't want anyone killed. So he goes a little bit farther off, has this little radar dish, and he's trying to send a signal out to Shadow Wing, basically telling them, hey, this is Will from the New Republic. You helped me at Pandem Night when the station was falling. You helped me save people. You sent me a message to go to Troy. We don't need to kill each other. We should all work together to get out of here. But before he can send the message, Nath Tenseth finds him, convinces him not to do it, say, what if you're wrong? What if you're sending this message? They come by, they kill all of us. It's your fault. And even if they don't come, all these ground forces here that just lost 20 people and hundreds more fighting this battle against Shadow Wing, they're going to hate you. They're going to, if they don't beat you to hell right here, you're going to be put in jail. So no, don't do it. We got to get there first. So Will says, okay, I'll trust you, even though I really don't like the way, because Nath was also ready to either shoot him or take him back, because no, I'm not going to take this chance. So they have that discussion, and another great quote from Will, again, always the optimist. He says, he's always trying to save lives, and he says, if they killed Quail, he's talking about Shadow Wing, if they killed Quail, if they killed Chaz, if they killed Kairos, like they killed Riot Squadron, it still wouldn't change what was right. So for Will, this isn't about vengeance. This isn't about revenge or killing for just, oh, they're the Empire, we gotta kill them, they're the bad guys. If there's a way to save lives, even if I'm saving the bad guy's life, I'm gonna do it. And that's Will through and through. Again, that's why there's so many people, save Will, we gotta save Will. And Nath on the other side, you're just too gullible. It's war. There's a price of war, and this just isn't gonna work. And that's where they differ a lot. All right, so Will, Nath, and the remaining fighters, they get to Core 9 and they have their plan, because Soran Keys and Shadow Wing got there first. Of course, they have all the ships. They got there first, and they start building the freighter. They start putting weapons on it, getting ready. It's under a cave, so nothing from on top is gonna get them. So Nath's plan and Will is we have the A wing, we have the Y wing, we have a relic V wing, which I don't know what that is, and a couple of other cars. We're gonna use that to lure Shadow Wing and away from the facility. Will is gonna do this. Then Nath is going to come with his B-wing, bomb the entrance, make a little bit of a gap big enough for the ground forces to go in, and then destroy the facility from the inside. So they start doing this. Will takes them out. This seems to be working. The infantry got inside. They start making little by little, making chances. The TIE fighters are chasing them through the canyon and all these crevices, so they can use their speed, so they lose their advantage. The infantry is gaining ground, and it's working. Then Keys was getting ready to board the freighter and leave. He calls the rest of the 204th, which is on the other side of the planets, and they all start coming. So our heroes, Nath, Will, and the few Republic forces are going to be overrun pretty quickly, because 6 squadrons of TIE fighters are coming over them. And just as they start to get overwhelmed, here comes the hero, Hera Syndulla, Vanguard Squadron. They're back on planet. They receive a message from Chaz when she left Children of the Dying Sun. She sent a message to Hera. She's back with reinforcements. And here we go. It's about to go down. And then that ends the battle for Core 9. And then we have the battle for Troy. Whew. So before we go, let me take a quick break and see what Anthony is saying. Anthony is saying that Nath Tenser is kind of like his own self. Love Will like too. I love Will. Again, he's too much of a nice guy to be the leader in a war like this. People are gonna die. He needs to understand this. Nath is a cool guy. He knows, he likes drinking and talking to the people and bringing everyone together. He's a natural leader. People gravitate to him. At the same time, he has his own. He's working on things. He has his own way to get out of there. He says it in a couple of chances. I can just leave right now. No one's gonna really notice. Well, he stays because he has a soft spot for Will, similar to Han Solo having a soft spot for our friend Luke Skywalker. So Chaz is flying her B-Wing with Vanguard Squadron when they reach Troy. So the freighter is getting ready to leave with the TIE fighters docking. Except one squadron is left behind defending them. And then Syndulla says, Will, you're leading this. I'll follow your lead. And then Will decides, okay, so I have one final chance, one final attempt to contact the enemy and tell them to surrender. There's no way they can escape. They just have a tiny freighter against a Nebulon-class frigate, Vanguard Squadron, and what's left of Alphabet Squadron. So he sends a message, hey, surrender. No one else has to die. No one replies back. So then he gives the order to all of Vanguard Squadron to pursue and shoot down the freighter, which for him is the worst decision, the hardest decisions he have to make, because he hates the idea of fighting and attacking people that are retreating. They're trying to leave. He says, sorry, we can't let you go again. Shoot them down. But as the freighter is leaving, Soran Keys tells the remaining group of TIE fighters, just fire on the planet. Try to kill any Republic outposts as we leave. Just destroy all that you can. And again, Will Lark being the person that he is, he says, all right, they call, not bluff because they were, but they called me. Stop fighting the freighter and go save the outpost, trying to save as many people as they can. And while they're doing this, of course, the freighter with Soran Keys and the rest of Shadow Wing are able to escape. Before they escape, we have our old friend, Eureka Quail, and her new Sith or whatever it is fighter, using her cloaking mechanism. She goes close enough to the freighter to be with them when they jump to hyperspace. So she's gone. So Quail says, there's no way I can go back to the New Republic, no way I can join Alphabet Squadron again. She's always have thoughts. Every time there's a battle, she always remembers her time on the Empire. So they always play on that duality. If she's really 100% away from being an Imperial, she still have those thoughts. So when the opportunity comes, she jumps on it and leaves with them. And then we come to the ending, basically the epilogue of the book. There's ceremony at the end, and don't remember the name of the frigate that Syndulla comes and rescues them, but there's a medal ceremony. We all love those medal ceremonies. Chaz, even though she's back with her friends, she felt distant from Will and Nath. She didn't go through what they went through, and they didn't go through what she went through. And there's a gap there to try to reconcile and be as friendly as they were before. My opinion is that in the next book, Chaz will eventually fall to the teachings of the children of the dying sun. She spent enough time with them that it's going to affect her going forward. They do talk a lot about the will of the Force, so I think this is going to play on it. We learn now that Aidan is dead. Nasha Grava is taking over as the new leader of the new Imperial Intelligence. She used to be the second in command. And we have the return of Kairos. She's healed. She doesn't have all of the bandages that she has before. She's a little bit more free. You could see more of her skin. She does speak, and I don't remember exactly what she said, but she's ready to go back into battle. We learned that Soran Keys at this point does make contact with Ray Sloan out there in the unknown regions, but she's not joining her, and she said, I got a mission for you. So be on the lookout. I'm gonna send you a mission. There's something you're gonna be doing for me. And somehow again, the Emperor's message, this red robe figure guy, made its way to the freighter, and it's with them over there. And he repeats the same words. You are one but many tools. Operation Cinder is to begin at once, which is what he said at the beginning years ago. And then it ends with Quail in the Imperial holding cell. Soran Keys comes by and says, "Who are you? No, what are you doing here?" And her response is, "Lieutenant Quail reporting for duty." And done. Thank you for coming. See you again next year when the third one comes out. Woo! That is one long review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So yeah, final thoughts. Like I said at the beginning, I did enjoy Alphabet Squadron better, a little bit more than this one. Nothing against Shadowfall. It's a great book. If you like this type, again, it's characters that we've known from the first one. We know a lot and we know their history. It's very similar to a lot of these other movies. Let's compare it to Empire Strikes Back in the way that our heroes are divided. There's 3 separate missions. So we have Nathan Chaz on one side, Chaz on the other, and then Quail, ITO, and Aidan on a separate mission. So if you like that type of reading, that type of storytelling, then this book is for you. There's 3 different missions going on, plus you have the side of the Empire, which is always great to get to read from that end. And then they join together for this big mission. I prefer the other one because it gave me more missions in between. I got to learn more from the characters. For me, there wasn't a lot of character development or characters moving forward in their story, I guess. You did learn more from Quail and the things that she did, but a lot of this she confesses to ITO and to Aidan, which both died. So she has nothing to move forward as a character. She returns to the Empire. So now the question is she doing this because she really wants to be part of the Empires where she always feels more comfortable? Or is she just doing this to attack it from the inside and go back to Alphabet Squadron and say, hey, I went with them to try to defeat them from the inside to gain their trust again. I'm not 100% sure because they've made good strides in the first 2 books, saying, kind of pushing you to think that Quail isn't 100% on the New Republic side. Every time a TIE fighter is shot down, she remembers, oh, that might have been someone that I knew, or the way they were flying, it's different, but I might have spent time with them. So she's always thought about the Empire. I might still be going towards them. We know there's going to be a confrontation between her and Chasna Chadi, which is going to be interesting. We're going to have to see how Will is affected from having to shoot down the freighter, losing more people in the tunnels, in the caverns, and Nath, who was there just because he was getting paid by Aidan to get dirt on Quail. What's his motivation now staying with the group and going forward? There was a lot of Hera Syndulla on this book. I'm guessing it's going to be even more on the next ones. She basically mentions at the end that, yes, shadowing was important before, but now that we see what they can do, it's even more of importance to a New Republic. So she's probably going to have more with it. So yeah, a pretty good book. Prefer the other one better. Nothing against this one. Give it a shot if you haven't. If you read Alphabet Squadron, yes, go and read Shadowfall. It does not matter. It does make sense. If you love that book, keep going with the story. Third one hasn't been announced yet. Hopefully comes out next year, at the end of this year, probably next year. And let's finish this story. It's a great set of characters. There's pretty good, not interaction, but interweaving of other books. With Hera, we have Rebels mentions, Operation Cinder and the Emperor's Message goes then to video games. So there's a good mesh of different Star Wars material, making it into Alexander Freed's novel. So do invest the time, either book, audiobook out there. I do recommend it, even though I like the other one better. This is nothing to pass over. So yes, Shadowfall, Alexander Freed's second book in the Alphabet Squadron trilogy, gets a thumbs up from me, or Devil Horns because I'm a rocker. Yes, so hopefully you guys like my review. Hopefully you guys like the book. Yes, like you said, Anthony, what a story twist with Quail leaving. I thought she was going to come back to Alpha. I thought that Quail was going to be the one to find Chaz floating around in space, and then they were going to have that confrontation there. But it didn't happen. It went a total different way, so I was surprised by that ending. And then we see how it moves forward to the final one. So yes, with that said, thanks. Episode 30's come to an end. I'm not sure if I'll do an episode next week. Like I mentioned, on vacation this week, I might take it easy, but we'll see. We also have Comic-Con at home on Friday. Star Wars is going to have a publishing panel, basically, so there's going to be some news over there. Maybe we get something about the third book for Alphabet Squadron. So we'll see what happens. Michael is back. I guess his phone died and his computer died. So yeah, Michael, if you wanna, I know we had not a surprise. We had an announcement to make. I'll let you say it now. Make it now if you want. If no, I'll say it. But well, Michael is there basically. Like I was saying, not celebration. Comic-Con at home. If there's any Star Wars news that pops up that's interesting, I might just jump up, do a quick episode. Or who knows? Maybe I'll do a full episode next Saturday. So let me know and I'll think about it. Trying to see. I don't know if I want to take a quick break. Before we do, all right, Michael. So 2met2 Network. Hey, Alberto, anything else to say? Yes, so I'm going to be a featured guest on the 2met2 Network on Monday at 9:30. So yes, follow them. Follow Michael Kondo on Twitter. He'll post it. Make sure to subscribe to his channel on YouTube. I'll be making my debut on the 2met2 Network. I don't know what I'm jumping into, but I'll be there with Michael and all you guys in the chat. Make sure to be there. Monday, 9:30, YouTube, 2met2. Yes, we'll be there. Thanks for the invite, Michael. I'll have you here also one day. And yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be something over there. Yeah, so we'll see what else comes out. I'm gonna probably start doing some rewind reviews of every Star Wars movie, trying to think what other topics to discuss. So we'll see what else comes up for the Radio Rebellion channel. Probably try to get some more guest comments. If there's a guest you want to see on this channel, either a fan out there that wants to jump in one day, or another podcaster or YouTube personality that you want me to bring on, let me know. Let them know. We'll jump. We'll have fun with everyone. And before we say bye, yeah, breaking news. It was breaking news. You gotta tune in till the end. Everyone that left, you don't know. It's breaking news. You gotta be there all day. I'll tweet it. Don't worry. But yeah, stay till the end. Thanks, Antonio. As always, it's fun times. It's fun having you guys here. Just me talking for an hour and 50 minutes might be too much, but yeah, you guys make it a lot easier. So don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Hit the thumbs up, like, comment, tell your friends. Next time, if you're on the podcast, again, rate, review when this comes out. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at Radio Rebel Pod. And then if you're listening to the audio podcast, go to YouTube and search Radio Rebellion Podcast, and you can catch the show every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. And if for some reason I can't do the live show, then I'll do the audio podcast. I just post it later, but Saturdays, and then the audio podcast on Monday. So as always, thank you guys. Stay safe, be safe, and may the force be with you.